So last time we were talking about the fact that we'd run out of podcasts. We'd come to an end in January. And we were waiting because the internet was so bad while I was on a ship and you were in Pompano.
Yep.
The problem was we couldn't connect and record them properly. So we're trying to do like a bulk one now. And then it was my idea originally to do it all on YouTube.
Wait, are we chatting now or are we actually doing it?
No, we're doing it.
Are we? Okay, because I need to... Okay. All right. What? Okay. And 3, 2, 1, you're back in the room.
Andy and Pete, this time it's gonna be better than before. Although it'll pretty much be the same as before with a few different things and stuff and that. And other things too, I think it's gonna be okay. Well, there's no guarantee, obviously. No guarantee, obviously. No guarantee. Season 2 of our podcast, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, maybe.
Boys and girls, prepare to be amazed by the spectacular...
It's Eddie and Pete, the Cruise Ship Diaries.
So we're talking about where we were last time when we finished our podcast. It was January. I think we did the last one. You were in Pompano. I was on the ship. Mm-hmm. And the problem we had was delay in the internet, making it very difficult to record the podcast at that point. Yes. And I came up with a great idea of doing them on YouTube. And when I had my next vacation is to record a whole load of them out again.
Yes.
Is that how you remember it?
There's something like that. Yes. Very good. I concur.
So we've got some nice followers. Working on the ship, what's really interesting is the fact that people are coming up to me now. Guests are coming onto the ship and saying, we've been listening to your podcast. Who is Eddie? And I've been following it, and that's quite interesting because now it's sort of going on a loop, a circle coming around, a viscous circle, I think you'd call it. It gets stronger and stronger.
What is that like to be mobbed every day, to leave your cabin and just be, do you feel like Jennifer Lawrence? Is that how you feel now?
I do feel like Jennifer Lawrence. I would love that. Yeah. And so that's been an interesting thing. So we're restarting again, seeing how far we get with these. And of course, now you have the opportunity. You can also watch on YouTube. Imagine that.
Season 2. My goodness, how exciting.
Season 2. And it may even, who knows? It may change as we go through. So the first thing is, I think when we were just finishing talking last time, I was talking about your New Year's resolutions. Did you have any?
Yes.
And what were they?
Oh, well, I think for 2026, the idea was to spend more time trying to be better at life with things like health, health is wealth, all that sort of thing. And I think because anytime I move around, and obviously you move around a lot from ship to ship and even from ship to vacation to ship. And on vacation, I like to travel around and visit people and annoy people that I make call my friends, even though they don't admit to it. And so that inconsistency means it's a problem because you could be staying on people's couches, staying in hotels, traveling a lot, visiting. And so just going to the gym is completely inconsistent. But now, because I'm in Pompano, or Pompa-yes, as we like to call it here, Pompa-yes Beach instead of Pompano, it means I've been in one place. Yeah, so you're Pompa-yes. You see what I've done there? So what we've done is we've taken Pompano, which might be seen as a negative, but we've turned it into Pompa-yes. So I'm going to put that on the T-shirts and the bumper stickers. Do they still have bumper stickers anymore? The point is we have consistency now in the fact that I can make myself, even though I hate it. I hate going to the gym so much. I don't even call it the gym. I call it the James because we're not friends. Jim is a friend. James is not friends. So I have consistently this season, what I would call this season, because the snowbird season here in South Florida is basically late November, December to April. And so I've been able to be consistent with that, which has been really, really good because it was never consistent on the ships. And you wouldn't be able to tell because you're like, Eddie, you're the fine figure of a man, perhaps you would think. You'd be thinking that. But it's been much better. So I've been really pleased with that. And then the other thing is that friend of mine a long time ago called Angel, she came up with this recipe for me to make smoothies, and I did them on and off throughout the years. But thanks to our friends at AI, the people that work in the AI office, wherever the AI people live, I've put the recipe in and I said, this is my smoothie that I do every day. Make it better. And it has.
It has. Well, I came to stay with you last year and you made a smoothie for both of us each day. And it was really, really good. And I don't know what you put in it. You put a bit of everything in it, as far as I can understand. You did tell me. I tuned out very much as soon as you started telling me with your excitement about
patented recipe.
There's seeds and there's this and that.
Chia seeds, ground flax seeds, bit of
ket. Yeah. No, it's
berries. That sort of, what's that?
Oh, let me write that down.
There's Metamucil, I think, in there.
Hold on,
there is dates in there. Oh, there's so much good stuff in there. There's a bit of fruit. There's usually some celery. It depends whatever I've got in the cupboard. Banana, blueberries, whatever I've got in the cupboard goes into the smoothie. 'Tis delicious. Oh, a bit of oats as well for the bit of carbs and protein.
Comes out in a dirty kind of mush sort of colour, would you say?
Yeah, it's not always a very appetizing looking beverage. And it's, a bit of turmeric in there, a bit of cinnamon sometimes, really whatever I've got. But yeah, it never comes out the same twice because the recipe, and I never measure anything out. But I try not go too hard on the fruit because otherwise it's just so fruity and not all good stuff. So you want a bit of good stuff, some stuff that, and by good stuff, I mean not as fun tasting, essentially. But you were good drinking it. You did well.
Yeah, I loved it. In fact, it really started me on trying to eat better. Because we would just have a nice, and it was quite filling, isn't it? It's quite a big pint glass of this smoothie, and then we'd have like one meal in the evening and 6 bottles of wine.
Well, 5 and just half a glass. But the thing is, the oats help fill it up, and so the chia seeds, because I think the chia seeds and the ground flax seeds, they swell, I think. So that's why it makes it super filling. So it's not really designed as meal replacement, but actually when I do have one, I tend to not then eat a meal for, lunchtime or whatever.
Raise the glass to the evening glow, let the laughter ring so clear. In the warmth of the gathering, let the worries disappear. A cheeky little beer, crisp on the tongue, oh what a treat. Children inviting a dance on the palate, summer's heartbeat. Golden bubbles rise like little stars in a glass of cheer. With every sip let the world fade, produce a vibrant atmosphere. Let's lift our spirits high. In this moment time stands still. With friends around we share our hearts, navigating life's thrill. Vodka Sprite, that's what I like. A swirl of citrus bright, a playful twist in every sip, chasing shadows of the night. Oh, let the flavors intertwine as we spin beneath the moon. With every toast let laughter rise like a sweet enchanting tune. And then there's the bottle of red wine, rich and divine. Each pour like poetry that unleashes the stars to shine. Savoring each moment, time slows as it flows. Dancing thoughts around the table where the warmth of friendship grows. Shared stories and dreams painted with laughter's brush. A canvas lined with cheer in the evening's soft hush. Vodka Sprite, that's what I like. A swirl of citrus bright, a playful twist in every sip, chasing shadows of the night. Oh, let the flavors intertwine as we spin beneath the moon. With every toast let laughter rise like a sweet enchanting tune. journey in time, weaving through laughter and love. A symphony of flavors that the stars are dreaming of. Raise your glass to the stories we'll tell. Cheers to the moments where we all dwell. So here's to a cheeky little beer, refreshing and clear. To the vodka, Sprite, the red wine, and friends we hold dear. Let the night linger like a melody, soft and sweet. In the company of good vibes, life's flow is complete.
And I know that just reminded me because you were just talking about the recipe. And recently, and I know I was telling you this recently as well, that I have sort of inherited my mum's recipe cards. She used to have a big box of recipe cards for all the food she made and cakes. She's very into cakes and I love them. And recently we had a family get together. My mum passed away a few years ago and I decided to take some of these recipe cards out and make some of the cakes. And while listening to you recount those recipes, I realized that my mum used to leave one thing out of the recipe each time so that nobody could quite make the same cakes that she could make. And you'd wonder for ages about what's going on. You should leave one. I remember her telling me this years ago that I always, when passing the recipe on to someone else, I always leave one thing out so that they'll never make it quite the same as I do. So I had to work out I had to spend a week or so making cakes and cakes and cakes till they got it right, which was quite nice.
It's Leonardo da Vinci level genius because he used to do that, right? When he was designing helicopters
Making
and
cakes.
tanks and things like that. Well, I don't know whether he was a good cook. I know he was a good singer. I know he was a good lute player. He was good at engineering. But the one thing he did was he basically did put some sort of switcheroo in it to make so that if you just stole his designs, it didn't work. They discovered that some years ago and they realized that he did it deliberately. It wasn't a mistake, but he was designing tanks and helicopters and various things 500 years ago. But crucially, he left something out to make sure that people couldn't just break into his house, steal his stuff.
I love that. I love that idea. And I'm glad I sort of cracked the code slightly and worked it out for myself. Jumping back as well, though, in the last season 1, you went through a lot of information in the first few podcasts about what was up and coming and new ships coming out. And I found myself next to some of those new ships and thinking, wow, that looks like a new ship. And then something in the back of my head said, yeah, I think Eddie was talking about it ages ago. I wasn't honestly listening to you, but I've seen some of those ships have come to pass. You said were coming out over the next few months. So that was quite interesting as well.
It surprises me that when I speak that you don't have a piece of paper and a pen just to write down my big thoughts.
Yeah,
because I'm a big thoughts, you know.
You do have big thoughts. And there's many times that we sat down in an office or a room somewhere and you would give out those big thoughts. You looked exhausted from the thoughts you had. And one of those was when you told me, let's talk about the New Year's resolutions and dieting. And following on from that, years ago, must have been about just when we came back after COVID. When was that? About 21?
It was the summer of 2021.
So we'd come back, and I think it was later in the year, we decided, we'd both been talking and said, you know what, we should try a cleanse diet. And you said to me, I've done this. It's really good. And a really simple diet. So we both agreed to do it. I ordered some of the stuff, and it basically meant you were going to, was it like chilies and lemon, and I can't remember. It was horrible, whatever it was.
Years ago, when I was on a Carnival ship, there was a guy called Joe, and him and the girl he was dating at the time, he's married to somebody else now, but he was dating this girl at the time, and I was going out with a girl called Lindsay, and we went for dinner at the steakhouse, and it was really good. They're really good. I think it was called David's because I'm sure they had a statue of David outside the restaurant. I'll never forget it because he described this thing that is known as the Master Cleanse. Now, let me make it clear. I'm not advocating for it. I'm not saying everybody should do this, but I found the idea fascinating. And the idea was that basically you clean out your system. And I was thinking about all the terrible foods I've eaten over the years, the Doritos, the Twinkies, the stupid stuff that I've eaten. I was like, wouldn't it be good to cleanse not only your soul, but also the inside of your system? And the Master Cleanse,
you signed me up, I'm back in again.
The idea behind it is that you basically stop eating for 10 days, 2 weeks, I think, something like that. And then what you do is the only thing you need to get a bit of sustenance is it's water, it's fresh lemons, it is cayenne pepper, and it is B-grade maple syrup. I can't remember why, but it has to be B-grade maple syrup. That's the recipe. Now you can have as much of this as you like in a day, but that's all you can have. You can't have anything else, I think, if I remember correctly. And because of the cayenne pepper, it doesn't taste that nice, but it's a little bit sweet, a little bit spicy, and a little bit sweet. But that's all you can have. And then what you do, this is the bit that was interesting for us. It's called the salt water flush.
Right.
So what you do is you essentially get some water and then you put a load of salt in it, non-iodized salt. I can't remember why, but I just remember that as well. And you mix it up and then you drink it. And then you stand back and about 45 minutes later, all hell breaks loose. Let's put it that way. You need to be near a bathroom because, of course, the body can't absorb salt water. So basically, it goes straight through and it is like shooting a hose pipe down the gut and essentially cleaning your hands.
I remember, I forgot that bit actually. And I think we got when we did it, I think we went to the next step and actually got some pills to help the process as well. Do you remember? We got some detox pills that help flush you through, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get you started.
I remember the first time I did it, I was actually dating somebody. That cannot have been a pleasant experience for her. But the second time I did it, I think I was on my own because it was post-COVID, so we weren't allowed anybody there with us on the ship, right?
Yeah, that's right. So when we did it, I was actually in isolation. I don't know if you remember. I'd caught COVID.
Yeah.
I think the first or second time. And in those days, you used to get isolated into your own room, which was pretty cool. And I think I had a couple of weeks to do that. So this was the perfect time for me to start the diet, right? Because I only had whatever they delivered to the room. And that was pretty bad as it was. So they had on the ship, they had a whole area of the ship, which was a quarantine area. So if you caught it, I don't know if you heard that, but if you caught it, you had to, there was one area that had its own air system. It was all closed off and everything else. So it couldn't be cross-contaminated. The red zone, was it?
Red zone. Yes, I remember the red zone. You weren't allowed in the red zone.
Right. You couldn't cross-contaminate. So people who worked there just worked there and everything else. Yeah, it's quite strange. And so it was a perfect time for me to try it. But it was, I don't know how you did it. You were still working at the time. So you're not.
It's difficult for the energy to like have no food whatsoever. And I want to come back to that. I'm not saying this is a good idea. I'm just saying it's something, but people of my limited intellect think that is a great idea at the time. You're like, yes, you can do it, and then try it. And it does, honestly, I felt it worked. I did feel I got a flush out. I'm not sure I'd want to do it too often. I haven't done it. I don't think I've done it since then. So I've done it twice now. And I don't know what the benefits, I don't know if there are benefits, but it was certainly interesting. And retrospectively, I'm glad I did it.
But you're right. You had to be near a bathroom. Did you also, there was no alcohol involved at this time either? I suppose it's very difficult to drink alcohol during this whole system.
Nothing. You must not have anything to do it properly, I think. Nothing at all. Just water, that weird lemony maple syrupy cayenne substance.
That was weird. Very weird.
And the only reason the first time it wasn't terrible for me was on the very first day I did it. The very first day, I got the recipe for the salt water bit wrong. So I think you were supposed to put in 3 teaspoons, and I think I put in 3 tablespoons. So it was like drinking. It was just horrific. So every day after that, because it didn't taste as bad as the first day, it felt like a bit of a win, and it was doable. And I don't know, you could chug this liter and a half, whatever it was, in about 15 seconds. It was gross. It was gross for 15 seconds. But then once you had that sort of, what is the word? Relief? I don't know. That's probably not the right word for it. But once that release happens, then you start to feel like you're making progress.
Now, let me just jump a little bit because I think there's a link there. I'm very interested in the fact that if you can abstain from alcohol for a long period of time, because working on a ship, one of the things working on a ship is alcohol is quite cheap. And if you work on a cruise ship, you work at sea, whether you're a drinker or not, you tend to end up drinking more than you would do on land just because, one, there's not much else to do, take your mind off things, and it's cheaper, right, than normal. So a lot of people spend their time socializing and having a little bit of alcohol more than would do at home. Agreed?
I'm saying nothing at this point. I don't know where this is going.
Well, I was actually very impressed because I drank more with you than I probably have done the rest of my life. But there was a point where you gave up drinking alcohol for a year, for 12 months, right? And that's very impressive. I didn't think you'd be able to do it, to be honest. Not an issue, very difficult to do, but you got through it and you abstained from alcohol for a year. 12 months.
Year. Now, I should point out
a lot, right? The bar probably closed down thinking, I don't know what we're going to do.
No, I did this not because there was any issue or problem. I did it because I'd read this thing that said, if you give up alcohol for a year, it will regenerate your liver or something like this. Now, I found out after I'd started the challenge from my brother, he's like, no, after 3 or 4 months, it won't make any difference. But I'd already started it at this point. And I was like, I cannot give in to the naysayers who think that I cannot do this, because everyone was like, there is no way you'll give up drinking for a year. Yeah. But once I committed to it mentally, I was like, I'm going to do it. And I did. And some people tried to slip things into my drinks, which wasn't good. Some people tried to say, oh, go on, just have a quiet drink. I won't tell anybody. This is just for us. We'll just have a drink. And I was dating at the time, and it was difficult for that person because they loved to drink. And I was just having these €8 drinks, which were just
Were you dating a different person to the person you were doing the cleanse with?
Yes.
What is the cleanse?
Yes. I was dating a girl called Sarah, and she was from Italy, and being Italian and loving wine and, limoncello and all sorts of good drinks. Yes. So it was probably very annoying for her putting up with me sober. But the thing was about it was what was that face?
No.
The hard thing is that when you go out on a night out, let's say you all start the night out at 7:00, that's fine. You're all on the same level. But if you're not drinking, and this is what I find difficult for people who don't drink, and I'm not saying that to have a nice life, you have to drink. I'm not saying that at all. Plenty of people have successful and brilliant lives better than mine. Most people have successful, better lives than mine and do it without the help of alcohol. But you start here together, and then they get more elevated, and you just kind of stay in the same position. And so it was a tough year for me. I certainly discovered that I'm probably annoying to be around when I've had beverages.
Really?
And it was kind of difficult to be around certain people when they'd had beverages and I hadn't had beverages. But it was interesting. I didn't feel a lot healthier. As I said as well, I found out that after 3 or 4 months, it really doesn't help your liver exponentially more after 4 months than it would, I think. And it definitely changed going out. It definitely changed certain things. I definitely ended up being the designated driver a lot more than I wanted to that year.
Of course.
And I definitely 100% wouldn't do it again.
So at the end of those 12 months, 12 long, dry months, when you first started drinking again, did you find that it affected you quite heavily, differently to how you did before?
The end of it is the worst part of the story, actually. You'd think there would be, coming into that home stretch would be fantastic and excited. No. I remember being in Aruba, actually. I was in Aruba, and I remember looking at this cheap bottle of wine or sangria or something in the shop, and I had about 4 weeks to go, I think, something like that. And it was like one of those €1 or $1 wine in a carton things, and just going, what I wouldn't give to drink that. Like, it's this awful stuff in a carton. But I'm like, I'm over this now. I'm so over it. I'm just waiting for the end. But when it actually came, unfortunately, the timing of it was not brilliant because it timed with a conference, a cruise director conference, the only cruise director conference I ever went to. And it ended with a story that is known amongst my friends as the salmon incident.
And that would be a story. The cruise director conferences don't often happen, do they? If at all. I mean, this is what I think I've heard about 2 in 15 years where everyone's together and they put it all together and they say, let's get everyone together and talk through stuff.
Well, it depends on the cruise line. Some cruise lines do them every year. Some, they always get together. And other ones, they never get together. They never have a cruise director. I mean, some cruise lines, obviously, they're quite small lines and they only have 3 cruise directors. So if they all happen to be in Cozumel one day, they'll just call that a conference and sit in the no-name bar, have a drink. And we're like, Cruise Director Conference 2027, woo! That's it. But yes.
So your conference, what happened? I know what happened and it's a brilliant story.
No, I'm not telling the salmon.
Most of it. No,
I'm not telling the salmon incident story, but just suffice to say, after not drinking for a year, I probably should have waited another 5 days because I ended up having not that many beverages. Then I had way too many beverages. And then I sent an email that I probably should not have sent. And it certainly affected the next couple of months. Yeah.
Well, I remember I was at that particular time, I think I'd been covering another cruise director who ended up being our boss in the office for a while. And he came back and just said it was absolutely hilarious. Couldn't wait to tell me all about it. It was so funny. I think everybody for about a year, that's the story of almost.
Yes. The salmon incident. It was a life lesson. You know, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot that surrounds that story, but anyway, suffice to say, I will never give up drinking for a year again. Sometimes I do it for like a few weeks or a month. I did it another time for 6 weeks, but I don't think I'd ever give it up for a year again.
Yeah, 6 weeks is understandable. Even that's difficult. You know, and as I go back to the fact that there is not much else to do. I mean, you get into your alcohol, etc., and look forward to it. And there was one year, and I brought him up several times, Liam Ryan, when you and me were working with Liam Ryan. And one year he came to me and said, why don't we treat ourselves at Christmas? I know you like a little whiskey now and again. Why don't we get a nice fancy bottle of whiskey? Like a blue label. I used to get to the black label kind of thing, and a Johnny Walker black label. And she said, let's get a blue or a gold. I've spoken to the special deal in. So we went to the liquor store and there was a deal for 2 blue label. And I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do it. And then I thought about it for a week and thought, yeah, okay, let's do it. And we told somebody else on the team, Stephen, if you remember Stephen, and he sort of said, yeah, well, I'm interested in that as well. And so, oh God, there's only 2 bottles. How are we going to do that? So we decided to go in and I would go in and get a deal for whatever was the best package they could give us, right? So I went in and told them what I wanted and they were very excited. And I ended up leaving having spent, I think, $1. And it was something of everything. It was a really good deal. I came back, the 2 guys were excited and we split it. We kept it all in my room, which was great, but we could only drink it when we're all together and would sit down and we would taste each bit. And it was so exciting. And we did that every day. And about 2 weeks later, I think we went back and bought another $900 worth of whiskey.
Do you really appreciate the whiskey? Do you really appreciate the taste and the complexities of each of them? Because I don't know anything about
a nice whiskey. And funniest, we all chose our favourite one was not the most expensive one, funny enough. It was not the cheapest, not the most expensive, but about, a third of the way in. And I always like to have a little bit of whiskey. It was quite nice. But yeah, that got my taste for it up. It's got very good. I have photos of the amount of whiskey in there. Always been a little fan of whiskey.
Yo, welcome aboard. It's the Cruise Ship Diaries. Eddie and Pete. Yeah, we're spitting fire like a wire. Yeah, I'm Eddie, the Welsh kid with the Navy style, rocking these wild curls. Yeah, you know it's been a while on the mic, spitting truth, showing life as a quest. With my homie Pete, yeah, he's way above the rest. And I'm Pete, baby, handsome with the clean shave. Jokes on point, keep the vibe like a wave. Brilliantly witty, got the talent and the flow. Crafting the beats to make you feel the glow. On this podcast ride, we're cruising the seas, bringing you the laughter, you're feeling the breeze. Check it on YouTube, we're living our dreams. Eddie and Pete got the best team, it seems. Yeah, each episode a treasure, drop a gem like it's gold. Sharing our stories, listen close, let it unfold. Waves crashing like the words, every rhyme we deliver. With Pete Pete at the helm. Real talk make you shiver like when I hit the keys. Creating that perfect sound, mixing laughter and wisdom until we all feel bound. Got a shot of talent, yeah, pouring it thick. Sailing through these waters, we're destined to stick. So we're cruising the ocean, feeling young and alive. With Pete cracking jokes, we're always gonna thrive. Every week a new story, you don't wanna miss. Tune in, join the party, come ride on this podcast ride. We're cruising the seas, bringing you the laughter, you're feeling the breeze. Check it on YouTube, we're living our dreams. Eddie and Pete got the best team, it seems. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, it's all about the journey, not just the destination. With the handsome face, I'm the source of inspiration, taking you along through the lows and the highs. With Eddie by my side, we'll break through the sky. So raise your glass, toast to the fun that we share, bringing you the vibe, no stress, just there. From Wales to the world, we're making a mark. With the Cruise Ship Diaries, we're igniting a spark. So hit that subscribe, don't let it fade away. Eddie and Pete, we're here come one May. In this podcast life, ride the wave and delight. Cruise Ship Diaries, yeah, we shine so bright. Podcast ride, we're cruising the seas, bringing you the laughter, you're feeling the breeze. Check it on YouTube, we're living our dreams. Eddie and Pete got the best team, it seems. I wanna ooh, 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 I wanna ooh, 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 I wanna ooh, 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 I wanna ooh.
So what did we learn? Not much, really. Pete likes whiskey in the theater. Eddie prefers to put solids in his mouth. Just in case you are listening to this and not watching it, the music has great videos to go with it. Anyways, until the next time, remember to subscribe and all that stuff. Love you.